that dial does. I'm gonna have to look that up. It's been poking at me. There's a dial here next to the thing for oh well, who cares? Saturday, and here we are again. Ugh, man. The only reason I'm not in a rut is because we did 4 hours the last 2 days, thanks to a shortage of parts. And here we are again, but I have no idea if they have enough parts or what's going to happen. But they did say today's only going to be 8 hours, which ain't bad because that means we're in here in 6 and we're out at 2 o'clock because it'll be a straight 8. It just blows my mind, though, that we've had occasions before where, we've had major breakdowns and they still wouldn't let us go home. But in this case, they ran out of something, so they literally just had no choice because. So it wasn't that bad of a week, I gotta admit. Meanwhile, see, I don't like Saturdays. I don't think I think two words in the English language that should never have been put together are mandatory Saturday. Because I had to do mandatory Saturdays at, old jobs before, and it's like, it's bad enough they work you, during the week, like, 9 hours a day, and that's 45 hours. But at the same time, just be happy, you've got a job in this day and age, especially one that even just covers the bills. People always seem to think that because you work at particular places, you're like a millionaire. I'm like, dude, it's a whole different ball game. I'm happy that we live as well as we do, and that the bills are paid at least. It's especially when eggs are going to become the next commodity on the market. I'm not kidding. I wouldn't be the least bit surprised to walk into Wall Street one day and there's the board scrolling. Look, there's silver, there's gold, there's eggs. What? Oh, man. Well, like I said, you never know. Like I said, but it did say 8 hours, so at least it won't be 9 if that's the case. Yeah, we are in the countdown to Series 2. Lots of promises being made about the big reveals and yada, yada, yada. And of course, you've got the usual trope of weirdos out there assuming things like the show's been canceled, Shooty's leaving. Well, the show has been canceled, but since they didn't mention Shooty's leaving. It's like, I wish I had this crystal ball. Well, then again, I don't, because their crystal ball never seems to be right. I swear, if some of these guys just sit down with those old magic 8 balls you used to get at Spencer's, and they shake it, tell me, what's going on? Is such and such leaving, Doctor? Well, it says signs point to yes. Yep, he's out of there. Oh well. No, the thing is this: until the weather warms up, things are going to stay hairy on the planet Baldus. And you'll notice as we come over this quarter of Baldus, there seems to be a forest growing. And, well, you see, what happens is, I let my hair grow out during the winter, because whenever I shave my head in the winter, I freeze. It kind of, what's left of it kind of helps form a thermal barrier. A little bit of insulation. And then during the summer, I just shave it all off. So a few more weeks yet. I want the weather to stabilize before I get rid of all of it again. Because I've had it happen before where I shaved my head, then another cold blast came in, and it's like, even with a hat on, it's, oh man. So yeah, it's all going to come off again very shortly. It's just I want the weather to stabilize. Yeah, lots of little clips being revealed here and there. I have been able to get back on X on my desktop, but guess what? I'm not even going to answer what that meant. All right. But what I had to do was I created a second account, and just so I can look over, Twitter/X on my desktop, because I got tired of sitting there going, okay, let's go check. Oh, that's right. I can't go to X on my desktop because of these over stupid, like I said, somebody's got to contact the Muskrat and say, look, just because I liked or reposted something so many times does not mean I'm a bot. This seems like an automated action. I'm not kidding. Twitter went from being almost unbearable to annoying, completely annoying. Yeah, that's the problem with AI. You're seeing a lot of AI generated shit, and people think it's true. Like I remember years and years and years ago, somebody made a fake Phantom Menace trailer that they claim was leaked, and they did a really good job with it. This was before AI. And then if you scan in closer, the big Jedi attack scene, all they did was they had taken one of the scenes from Braveheart and they put lightsabers over the claymores. And then they had Darth Bane being played by Christopher Walken, and all it was his appearance in Sleepy Hollow that they edited. So, and now with AI, it's just easier to screw with people. I'm dying laughing because most of these weirdos, all they use the AI for is say, what does that girl look like naked? They put it in the AI. Can you smell what the president is cooking? Oh, God. Then again, it wouldn't be the first time we've had an actor in office, If you're talking about, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson running for president, seems like anybody can become president. Come on, right now we got a reality show TV star. See, we had one president. Yeah, he flew during the Vietnam War, but the closest he made it to Vietnam was from his Air National Guard jet. Then you had the Clinton era, which was almost like the Kennedy era all over again. Well, I mean, like the Clinton era all over again, as in things, shenanigans in the White House is what I mean. Oh my God, no. I don't even know if I could do Mickey Mouse this morning. My voice is a little hoarse today. Oh, I can see that now. It's all part of a. What I'm really worried about, and like I said, this is just pitching out the left field. Because since we've seen cartoon interactions and a bunch of, we have the reality war, and plus, I think we even saw the Doctor popping up in various other things here and there in the clips. I'm just hoping it doesn't turn out that Belinda isn't just a fictional character. Which would kind of point at the fact that what if it turns out that this all has to do with the land of fiction? But that's what I'm hoping is doesn't turn out to be, that he can't get Belinda home because Belinda's a fictional character pulled out of another reality. Just throwing it out there. It's just something that popped into my head. It's probably not true. Just utter speculation. But given the fact we've seen the Doctor and Belinda become cartoons, we've seen... And why do they want it? Why is it that for some reason someone thought we're going to do another clip with a crossover with EastEnders? Oh yeah, that worked great in Dimensions in Time. Don't do it. I always thought, they should have had The Rock as the doctor, Can you imagine that? Davros, can you smell what the doc is cooking? Oh. Well, yeah, he can't run anymore because the limits in America is 2 terms or 10 years. The 10 years thing is if you're a vice president who takes over for whatever reason. That's why they threw it in there. And they put that limit in way later, and they based that off George Washington because when he came first president of the United States, he only kept 2 terms because he said, I didn't want any more. He said it shouldn't be, longer than that. I think the only other president we had that ran that many terms was, oh, hell, it's going to burn my brain out till I remember. Was it FDR? I think he had 3 terms, so they put the limit in. I'm just going off the top of my head. Oh, God, yeah, I can't imagine that, Terry Hulk Hogan as president. But at least he got that many. Like I said, the one that still has me going was William Henry Harrison. He was president, I think, for all of 28 days. Old Tippecanoe. Yeah, he bought it in the first month from pneumonia. It's like, I got an idea, guys, to show everyone how big of a man I am. I'm going to give my inauguration speech in the cold, driving, windy rain. And I'm not going to wear an overcoat. I'm not going to wear a hat. I'm not going to wear anything to show him how manly I am. And less than a month later, he's dead from pneumonia. I think that's when Tyler had to take over. I think he was the only, FDR was the only other president. I think we had that like 3 terms. Like 3 or 4 terms, something like that. He was not bad for a guy with polio. And he managed to keep it hidden from the public for the most part. But as I said, in the world of Doctor Who, nobody's happy. Most of us are happy. But then you got that, bunch of garage trolls out there, guys who have nothing better to do than go down into their basement studio at night. Some of them at their mother's house or their parents' house. And whine and complain. Also, didn't he play Moriarty in that one as well? He played Holmes, and I think he also played Moriarty. Tom Baker. It was kind of interesting that Tom Baker once played Rasputin, and then later on we had the Master as Rasputin. I was really hoping to have a message on my phone today, though, saying that they canceled today because it was a bad idea. Because who knows how many, parts they're going to have available today. But they already called 8 hours for today, so at least that's good news. Well, it's about time for me to start wandering in, guys. So I'm going to go get this day over with. Enjoy the rest of your weekends. Be kind, be calm, be safe. Take care. And we'll see you all again, hopefully Monday morning. Take care, everyone.